Well, hello and welcome to I Love Gay today. And before we start, guess what? I didn't even tell Will this. This is the 1 year anniversary of the I Love Gay Today show today.
Wow. Congratulations.
Facebook told me, and Facebook pops up with this memory exactly a year ago. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe the first production of what we tried to do, thinking we're just kind of playing around, is very different from what we're doing right now.
Congratulations. It's been fascinating to watch. You've had so many great conversations over the course of one of the most insane years in the history of tourism and marketing. But to bring the industry together and the community together on a daily basis, that's no small feat.
It's been fun. And now it's got a life of its own. And but to get started properly, we are here with Will Seccombe from Connect Thrive Summit, and he's in charge of all the Connect events that really have been bringing travel together for many years. And in fact, what kind of sets you guys apart is that you've really focused a lot on business interactions over those years as well.
It's really an interesting model, Matt, in that we know that when we get together and face one-on-one in person and have meaningful, intentional conversations, business gets done. And that's really the idea. And it's worked for several years. The Connect Thrive Summit is one of our newer events that we started 3 years ago. And it was, again, for the very specific purpose of, how do we grow communities and community development through LGBTQ travel, sports, and entertainment, but do that with intentionally business building and connecting. It was interesting. Our first year, we had Joe D'Alessandro, the president of San Francisco Travel, and Fred Dixon, rep from New York, NYC Company, two of the icons in the LGBTQ travel space, both presenting just amazing stories. And obviously, Fred had just come off of World Pride and the incredible success and the storytelling that whole campaign brought together. So it was awesome. But now we're 3 years in, and it was really interesting. So a lot of the destinations that were there said, that was inspiring, that was compelling, great information. But I'm not in New York City, I'm not a San Francisco, and so you'll see today, 3 years later, two of the first sponsors for this year's event are Iowa City and Cedar Rapids, right? I mean, so it's really important, right? It's allowing destinations to learn the space, to understand how best to communicate, how best to market, how best to do their products. I think Discover Puerto Rico has been a great supporter of the Thrive Summit, and they've done a really intentional program targeting LGBTQ travel. So it's a great mix. It's a great group, and we're looking forward to year 3, this coming up in September.
Yeah, well, I remember some of the highlights. The first year we had Anderson Cooper with us, and you had this great backdrop, and we're all able to do photo shoots. That was amazing.
That was, when you think about it, one of the greatest coups of all time, because Anderson was gracious enough to take pictures with everybody who was there. And, we had about 130 people for a first-time event. It was not huge, but everybody and anybody that's following LGBTQ travel saw a picture on Facebook of their friends and with Anderson Cooper. So that was awesome.
Yeah, no, and in fact, last year it was because it was a hybrid type of event, because you were programming during the pandemic, but you were one of the first conferences, I believe, and that really put health and safety very first, and it was everywhere we went, and so a lot of this had changed, but I think some of the things that you adapted from that conference are going to continue to live on even in this year as well.
Well, Matt, I think one of the great lessons of the COVID era is flexibility, adaptability, and your thinking. And when we realized we had this amazing lineup of speakers committed, yourself included, but Mayor Jane from the mayor of Tampa came over and spoke to us. Art Smith, Oprah Winfrey's former chef and incredible restaurateur that's based in Florida, came down. And we had all of this incredible talent, but not a big audience. And so we ended up working with ILoveGay Today, and we talked to DJ Doran and his podcast, and we turned a lot of the content into bigger platforms that was able to share on to other groups, and as a result, I think, again, we learned a lot, and this year we'll take learnings from that. I mean, it'll be a hybrid event. Most of us hopefully are going to be in Las Vegas in person, but we're definitely going to take lessons learned. And to your point on ILoveGay today, I mean, if you think about how much you've learned over the course of doing this every year, we'll be a lot better at it when we all sit down together in September.
No, I hear you. And that's the key part, is that it's in September, it's in Las Vegas. But the best part is it's after the IGLTA convention. So it keeps the conflicts away. But then in addition, anyone who's flying in from overseas to attend perhaps IGLTA in Atlanta can hopefully adjust their schedule so that they could come out, because not only are they coming out to Vegas for Connect Thrive and other Connect events that are going to be going on, but you've also teamed up with IPW.
Yeah, this is a really exciting program this year, in that the Thrive Summit will be on Saturday and Sunday, and U.S. Travel's IPW, which is the granddaddy of all tourism marketing shows in the United States, is going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And so not only will we be able to, tour operators be able to come in from, all corners of the world, come to Atlanta, go to IGLTA, work their way down to Vegas and do Thrive, and then go do business again at IPW. So it's a really great win-win-win. And there's some other exciting kind of elements to the partnership that we're launching this year at IPW, and that's they've never really done an educational program for all the tour operators and all the suppliers at IPW. So they're adding that new this year. And the Connect Thrive Summit is an official content supplier. So we're going to have a stage at IPW. So again, we'll be able to have the LGBTQ message front and center to the entire global travel industry over the course of not just the 2 days of Thrive, but also the 3 days of IPW as well.
You're making yourself into a powerhouse here.
We're doing our best, right? How do you turn lemons into lemonade? And I think just kind of pushing and challenging ourselves and challenging our industry to step up. And I think that's it's never been a more important year in the tourism industry space to reinvent, rethink how you market, rethink our audiences that you're targeting, and it's going to be a real challenge. So the extent that we can partner and work with other people in LGBTQ space, which is one of the things about Thrive that I've been so excited about. It's bringing together all the thought leaders and that everybody's supporting the initiative with the idea of how can we connect with destination marketers and media, and how do we connect with influencers in the space to help make sure that we're all doing this together. Yeah. And one of the things that I think comes out of difficult times is a lot more partnering and a lot more working together and cooperation. And so my goal with the Connect Thrive Summit is to help build more of those connections, help all of us helping each other out, but to build partnerships that are going to be strong enough to survive the good times as well as the bad.
Exactly. Here.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, no, I'm looking forward to all this, and I'm looking forward to being there. It's been quite a while since I've been to Vegas, so you've given me a good reason and something to look forward to at that time.
Yeah, and we've got some great talent. So September 18th and 19th in Las Vegas, we're going to be at the Resort World Hotel right across from the convention center. It's gonna be a fantastic experience. It will be a hybrid event again this year, as I said. So we're going to be able to do that. And my hope is that we'll be able to bring partners like yourself and start helping become a center where we can communicate all this information, all the great work that's being done, and make a lot of connections. It's funny, Matt, last year when, again, a small group of people, but some of the business deals and the partnerships that came out of that are amazing. I mean, real tangible business. And I think that's what happens when you sit down and provide quality content, a great atmosphere, a great environment, and the right people in the room with the idea of having intentional meetings and intentional opportunities to develop and grow business.
Well, you had Orbitz present on LGBT travel and what they're doing at that time. And hopefully you're able to get them to come back this year, because I could tell you firsthand that they have been doing a lot over the last few months to really kind of leverage new media and influencers. And they're working with folks that you wouldn't traditionally always consider or think were going to be strong in the LGBT travel world. So they'll probably have a really good story to tell.
Yeah, and having Orbitz there this year was great, and they literally almost kind of launched that program at Thrive. And the year before, we had the senior vice president of marketing from Expedia Group talking about all the initiatives that they do and allyship. And so we've been able to bring a lot of really interesting people that are new to this space. And again, my favorite thing is the destinations that are starting to really embrace the space, but know that they have to learn more, right? And learn more about messaging and more about media and more about what is important and what are the values that the LGBTQ traveler really wants, and what are the things that we can do to provide better experiences. So one of my favorite messages from our first ever event was, and I think it was Cedar Rapids, and said, we just had the best meeting ever. And I said, who'd you meet with? And they had a sit-down meeting with Key West, right? And they were talking about the Keys have done such a great job in this space for decades, but they were able to teach the pitfalls and the step ones and step twos. So it's really great to get the industry together, working together to help move the industry forward.
Well, like I said, I'm looking forward to it. So it's only 5 months away.
It'll be here before we know it. So definitely mark your calendar, September 18th and 19th for the Connect Thrive Summit in Las Vegas. And then the 20th through the 22nd is IPW's US Travels IPW. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I will look forward to seeing you there.
So good.